This woman has never seen an umbrella in her life. Every time she touches the rain, her limbs would stiffen and faint in the rain. She'd cook more food than one person could eat. She'd put a lot of cheese and meat floss in it, and absent-mindedly put her hands in the oven without gloves. And that's how a woman always burns her hands. When she sees other children going to school, she thinks it's time for her daughter to get up. But when she gets to her daughter's room, she realizes that her own child is long gone. One day 4 years ago, her daughter went to work with her husband. She even took a picture of the father and daughter, but she never expected this photo became her daughter's last photo. Her husband was a psychiatrist. He specializes in the mental state of serial killers. They came to the prison looking for a criminal, and this man had killed and eaten at least 30 people. While the husband was evaluating the man, the warden suddenly had an urgent call for him. The two men went out and closed the metal door, but accidentally locked their daughter in her room. The 8-year-old was left alone, and that gave the prisoner a chance to take advantage of the situation. 4 years passed. Lisa couldn't come to terms with the loss of her child. She was often anxious and paranoid. Her husband eventually couldn't stand his wife and left her. Lisa developed a drinking habit. Alcohol numbs her mind and makes her forget the past. She sat on the couch every day and stared out the window. Suddenly one day a neighbor moved in across the street. From that day on, she developed a hobby of staring at her male neighbor. Soon Lisa wanted to visit this man, but it was pouring rain outside. An accident happened. Luckily the man found her in time and took her home. The next day Lisa wanted to thank the man for saving her life. She made a pot of food and delivered it to him. She also fell in love with Brother Beard. That night Lisa had a rare and peaceful sleep. At the same time, a dark shadow flashed in the attic, but Lisa didn't notice it. The next day, she wants to go after John. She had to start with his daughter. Lisa went up to the attic to find a paintbrush to give John's daughter as a gift. As she was walking to John's house, she was met by a stunning stewardess, and as John's family embraced the stewardess, Lisa realized that she was John's girlfriend. She was embarrassed and jealous. On the way back, she found the stewardess had thrown her paintbrush into the trash. Lisa's anger exploded and she hit the gas, but when she came to her senses, she realized that it was just a hallucination. But from that day on, she and the stewardess also became rivals. Lisa was always watching her. Finally one day she found out when she was watching a video. It was an intimate photo of the stewardess with a man. Lisa became even more sure of her suspicions, until one night, Lisa was staring across the room. She suddenly noticed the stewardess struggling desperately in the room. The woman seemed to have been cut by something. Then she collapsed on the floor. Lisa nervously dialed the police, but she was so nervous she couldn't speak clearly. The police couldn't understand a word she was saying. Lisa had no choice but to rush over to save her. Lisa didn't care about being afraid of the rain and rushed straight into the rain. She collapsed in the rain with her limbs stiff. She didn't know how long it took. A mysterious man picked her up from the rain and took her home, but by the time the woman came to her senses, the police had arrived at the scene of the incident. They were questioning John, but it wasn't long before the policewoman turned around and questioned Lisa. After investigating, John's wife was at her job, and the things that Lisa saw. Anna thinks it was the red scarf the airline was wearing. It's about 800 meters from this room. It's very possible that Lisa mistook the scarf for blood, and when Anna saw the medicine and red wine on the table, she instantly understood everything, but Lisa is convinced she saw it herself. But no matter how she explained it, Anna didn't believe her. The next day Lisa still believed what she saw, so she stormed across the street in a rage. She knocked on the door of John's room.